Hey guys, it's Tyler with Steambow here in the bunker again, and today I wanted to show you a video of one of our most anticipated and requested products, our brand new pump action conversion system. Now this will also work on all of our AR series bows, the Stinger 2, our M10, as well as our brand new B08, which I'm going to be putting it on today. Now I've taken the liberty to remove all the things from this box, but they will be zip tied down, and this will be everything that you will receive in this box. Now, like I said, I'm going to be putting this on our brand new B08 we just released. First things first, let's make sure it's not loaded, not cocked. Remove that magazine. And I'm going to also remove this limb because we won't need this limb in here until we're ready to start shooting. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is we got to remove a couple pieces on this B08. And those pieces include this vertical foregrip, which we're actually going to hold on to and use with the pump action conversion kit. We're going to remove these two side plates, which you can see are held in by 3 screws here. And there's one on each side. 3 screws, you're going to remove that. And then we're also going to remove these caulking rods. And I'm going to go ahead and do all that now. Like I said, I usually start with removing the vertical foregrip. And for this, we're going to grab an Allen wrench here. Super simple. All right, now, like I said, once you got this removed, just set it aside because we are going to be putting it back on later in this video. Now, the next thing I like to remove are these side plates. Very straightforward. Like I said before, 3 screws right here, 1 in the middle, 2 on the sides, and then those plates will come right off. Now, once you remove these side plates, make sure to hold on to these screws because we will be using these screws again. But the side plates you can set to the side. We have new ones with the pump action kit. Boom, just like that. Like I said, let's hold on to these 3 screws here, and we can just put this old side plate to the side here. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. A lot of screwing in this video. And all right. Boom. Okay, we got both side plates removed. All right, guys, once you got the side plates removed, the next thing we're going to remove are these caulking rods here. And there's 3 parts we're going to remove in this. And it's the 2 caulking rods themselves, as well as this nut in the middle of them that's holding them together. The way I do this is I'll hold one steady, with the other one just unscrew it. And I'll also hold on to that nut in the middle, kind of with my thumb here, if you can see me doing that. Remove that out. And then for this step here, once you got that first one out, you might need a pair of pliers or something to actually hold on to that a bit stronger. And then it'll be a lot easier to unscrew this second rod. I think I was tightening it. And all right, just like that. We can put these caulking rods to the side. We will not use them or need them anymore, as well as this nut we took off. We do not need this anymore. Now, Your bow's looking a little bare now. We got to put some things back on it. Now, the first thing that I will add to this, the first thing that I'll put on to my bow from the pump action conversion kit is one of these side plates. And before I put this on, I'm also going to add these limb dampeners to it. Super simple. We'll just pop this in right here. And there's one for each plate. Just makes that string a little bit safer every time you shoot it. Now, super straightforward, just like the same 3 screws that we removed, taking off the side plates. We're going to put those same 3 screws on for these new side plates here. Very simple. Like I said, keep those to the side because we are going to use them again. Pop that on, and I'm just going to screw in these 3 screws right here. All right, guys, once you got this first side plate on, we're actually going to flip it back over. And before we put that second one on, we have to install this pump action release here. So this is a little bit tricky. You're also going to grab the spring that's included in this little white bag, as well as 6 other screws we'll use. But this little spring here. Now, if you look at this release, it looks just like a trigger, and it's going to sit right there. You see it's got a little knob on either side, and that actually fits perfectly into that little circle in there. So now before we set that on, we're also going to put this spring right on this hook right there. So it's kind of going to sit like that. And you got to have a little finesse here, but make sure you put that in there. So it kind of looks like this. So that spring's stuck in there. Now, then you grab your other side plate. Oh, side down there. That other side plate on this. So it holds that spring and that release nice and snug in there. And then let's go ahead and screw on this side plate as well. All right. Now we have those 3 screws screwed in. Now, if you flip it over on the left side of your bow, you'll actually see 2 more spots for 2 more screws. And that's where these new screws that are included are going to come in. Now, with these screws, something I've learned today is don't be afraid to use a little bit of force on these things, as well as some blue thread lock would also help. But make sure these are nice and tight. Okay, we are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the next step is I am going to put on, these are kind of the new cocking rods that will be used for the pump action. But very important in putting this together, this little Picatinny rail is what the vertical foregrip's going to sit on. Now, something very important, if you look on the bottom of this, you can see this little rectangle right there. That is how you know that is the front of this Picatinny rail, and that will be on the front side of this bow, and that's actually what locks in to this release here. But before we put this on, we're going to screw in one of these new caulking rods and make sure that it is facing the right way, where these caulking rods should be pointed backwards away from that rectangle in there. So we're going to actually just screw this one on right now while holding it in our hands. I find it a little bit easier to do it that way. And once again, don't be afraid to use some muscle here with these screws. One there, one here. All right, so next step. We're going to kind of just fit this right where it looks like it needs to go here. Make sure it slides perfectly. It's nice and flush. And then we're going to screw in this other side right here. Once again, just make sure it's nice and flush so it slides nice and smooth. Pop this screw in here. Last screw. All right. And then from here, the last thing we're going to do is install this vertical foregrip, which everyone should already know how to do. But I will show you one more time here. Got 2 bolts that you're going to put in the hexagonal shaped side here. And I like to put them both in. And I'll hold my finger there as I flip it over, holding those bolts in so they don't fall. I'll go ahead and drop these screws in like that. And then with one of our Allen wrenches here, go ahead and screw this in. Make sure it's nice and tight, nice and secure. And all right, folks, just like that, you guys have just installed your brand new pump action conversion kit. All right, guys, now that you got your brand new pump action conversion kit installed, let's see how this thing shoots. But a couple things, when using this pump action conversion kit, just like anything, the stronger the limb, the harder it's going to be to pull back. And the way that this leverage works, it's pretty difficult to pull back some of our higher limbs. We recommend a 35, 55, maybe a 75 if you're really strong, but we don't really recommend the 120, 150 pound limbs for this pump action. I'll show you right now, I'm using the 35, but got a couple balls in here. And just like anything, it's going to take some practice to learn how to maneuver this this safety release here. But once you get it, you can really get this thing firing quick. But press that release, releases the pump it back, and you're ready to shoot. And then just like all of our bows, keep on pumping, keep on shooting. And there you have it, guys. That is our brand new pump action conversion. Hey guys, we're outside now. I got the pump action conversion kit on our brand new B08, and I just wanted to shoot a quick video showing you guys the difference. How different it shoots between our 35, 55, and 75 pound limb, as well as how hard it is to cock those back. And we're just using these the white polymer balls that come with the B08, and let's see how it goes. Right now, I got the 35 pound limb on, and we're going to be aiming at some targets down there. Let's do it. Not bad. Let's put the 55 on this. All right, guys, we got the same ammo, the same target. Now we're up to the 55 pound limb. Let's see how difficult it is to cock back, as well as what it does to those targets. Well, one more to go, 75. All right, guys, last but not least, we got the 75 pound limb on here. same ammunition, same target. And I want you guys to really notice how difficult it is to cock this back, and that's why we recommend this being the highest you use when using the pump action conversion kit, because there'll definitely be some arm fatigue if you're using this out on the paintball field or just shooting out consistently in the backyard like we are now. But let's see how it shoots. There it is, not bad.
Three.
Not bad. Let's put the 55 on this.